Oh, your confidence is not that they will like me. It's the I'll be fine if they don't. I'll be okay if they don't like me. I'm actually glad they don't like me because I know I'm different and I know I'm authentic and I know that I'm so confident with myself, within myself, that I don't need any external validation. And I'm glad I can be internally sure of who I am as a person and that self-aware of the people I'm attracting in my life. That's the whole point of confidence. There's a lot of misconception around confidence because it's inevitable with social media to compare yourself to a part of someone else that's portraying themselves online, that they're showing externally how confident they are and how many friends they have and how their personality just attracts all of these kinds of people. And to an extent, we see that and we try to be like that person. We try to copy them. And in that way, we lose ourselves. We lose our sense of authenticity, our sense of confidence within. So, to elevate your confidence, you have to ask yourself, who am I being for other people to like me? When have I asked myself if I'm fine with the character I'm portraying to other people? We tend to be so lost in comparison mode that it's easy to play a character that we're not. When we start playing a character that we're not, we start to see that it doesn't work. We become depressed in a way because it's like we're repressing our true inner self. And we think that by us repressing that inner self, we're actually protecting ourselves. But by us going through that protection mode, through that repression mode of who we actually are, we're being the opposite of confident, the opposite of authentic. So we're gonna keep attracting fake people or people that just fuck you up, fuck you over, because essentially that's who you're being. You're not being yourself, so you're gonna attract people that are not being themselves. So it's like the people you attract is merely a reflection of who you're being in relation with yourself. If I have a relationship with myself that I'm not confident, I cannot be alone, I tend to run away from my problems and tend to not be self-conscious of how I feel, of what I want, of my willpower, my authenticity itself. If I don't project that innerly and externally, I'm gonna manifest people that are the same, that treat myself in a sense of like fakeness, in a sense of disrespect, in a sense of being undervalued, because essentially you're not valuing yourself. There are 3 relationships that are core, 3 important relationships we have to always keep in check whenever we want to elevate our confidence or understand why we're lacking that confidence. The relationship we have with ourselves, the first one, the most important one, because if we're not working with our core self, we're not working with our shadow self, we're not working with who we are, and externally we're not going to be confident enough to show that to other people, so we're not going to attract the people we want to attract. So in order to be confident, we have to portray that within. We have to sit down with ourselves, be comfortable spending time alone with yourself, be comfortable doing the work to understand those parts of you that need healing, those parts of you that need that sense of self-compassion and self-understanding in order for you to evolve and in order for you to attract the people you want to attract. So when we have that foundation, then now we can have any relationship with no problem. It's not going to say you're not going to have any obstacles within a relationship, but you're going to be so confident with your character that you're no longer letting yourself be in a situation where you're disrespected or you're undervalued, because you value yourself so much and you are so confident with the character you are that you know what people you want around in your life and what people you don't. You know that for certain because you have that relationship with yourself where you are self-conscientious of what you want and what you don't, and who you are in a core level. So now you're projecting that externally. Once you start tapping into yourself instead of seeking outwardly for that sense of comfort, for that sense of confidence that you think that by you copying someone else you're gonna attain, then you're just disrespecting the relationship you have with yourself, because you're not prioritizing that relationship. Then the 2 other relationships are the relationship you have with the world. It's the relationship you have with everything. So with the world itself. So how do you see the world? You wake up and how are you? Are you happy? Are you not happy? how do you talk to other people. It's the relationship you have with everything. And then of course the relationship with more of like a partnership or like a intimate kind of relationship, friendships, people that you are more in a close relationship with. And in order for you to work within those relationships and those dynamics, you have to keep the relationship you have with yourself in check in order for the other two relationships to work in harmony. It's like a triangular triplicity. Also, I think that it's really important to acknowledge that it's no use to compare yourself. And I always say this, and like everyone says that, oh, don't compare yourself, but it's harder than than just saying it. It's you have to really understand that, and you have to understand that you're actually losing time with developing the relationship you have with yourself if you keep comparing yourself to other people, because you're disrespecting yourself in a way, because you're not prioritizing your own journey. And it's not by any means like being like, oh, like super egocentric and just focusing on yourself, but it's being so confident within yourself that now that you can externally portray that and attract the people you want to attract, and be the best version of yourself for other people also, and be a good friend, a good partner, a good a business partner. But if you don't have that foundation within, you're not going to attract that externally. You're going to be stuck in that loophole of trying to find that externally instead of focusing on that foundation internally. So let's try to remind ourselves always how important it is to not get lost in other people's journey, not get lost in other people's portrayal of who they are, especially in social media. It's really easy to get caught up with whatever someone else is posting. They might look really happy, they might look like they have a life you want to achieve, but innerly you don't know who they are. And they might know themselves, but they have different characteristics than you. And if you want to get to that goal that they have or that they're portraying, then you have to go within and see how you can go in your own unique journey to attain that with confidence, with willpower. But you prioritize what do you value, what do you want, and then you go towards that instead of just seeing at other people's timeline and getting lost in that timeline frame. And also remember that whatever you are portraying in social media, that's not you either. Only you know yourself. Whenever you feel that sense of uneasiness, that you're not getting that sense of self-worth from other people, then it's time to tap into your foundation, tap into yourself. Don't look at your social media, don't look at what's happening externally. Go within and spend time alone and just sit with yourself and be comfortable with your own energy. If you cannot hang out by yourself, then you have a lot to work on, and you have to take more walks, more self-care, more internally talking to yourself innerly. Like I sometimes talk to myself or like journal. I used to struggle a lot with anxiety, I still do, and insomnia, and just because like I was just like always bashing to myself, like, oh, like today you could have done this, you could have done that. And when I started to be more self-compassionate and understand why I was having that restlessness at night, then I started to acknowledge that I needed to change things from my foundation. I needed to strengthen the level of confidence I had within, the level of direction I had in my life. Everything kind of like correlates. So confidence is not only the external thing we all see as being portrayed as someone looking cute outside. It's that radiation of authenticity and being comfortable enough with your energy that you don't need anyone else's acceptance. You're at peace and you're at harmony with whatever's happening within. So externally you show that level of authenticity, but you don't need to be claiming that. You don't need to beg for attention for that, because you are within comfortable that you don't need that validation from other people. You just need to validate yourself. So yeah, remember to validate yourself. Acknowledge when you're being too harsh on yourself, and also be harsh on yourself when you have to, when you're letting other people walk all over you, when you're letting other people disrespect you. That's when you have to set your foundation and understand that you're not being authentic with your inner self. You're not being you. So once you start being you and start to get out of that fear of being seen, then externally you're going to project that, and externally you're going to attract all the relationships And it's not like something magical, you know. You have to go through trials and tribulations. Like, people are gonna come into your life that some of them are not gonna treat you the right way, but that's where you have to stand firm and decide and strengthen your own character and decide who you want to surround yourself with. Who am I? Does this person have the same values that I have? So why does anything that they do affect me? Let me just ignore, or let me just walk away because I respect myself. And that's where you're being confident with yourself. That's when you're having a relationship with yourself, a foundation with yourself that's so strong that you don't need validation. Yeah. Remember, elevate your self-worth, go within. If you don't talk to yourself, fucking drive yourself crazy. Talk to yourself, like, build a relationship with yourself. Like, be your best friend. And a big part of being confident and elevating your self-worth is being grateful for who you are, for the character you're building. Even though you might be in a position where you don't feel confident, be grateful that of the things you accomplish, the little things. Have that relationship with yourself where you can keep yourself in check, but also have that level of self-compassion where you have an understanding of why you do the things you do. And that's how you develop that sense of self-awareness and develop that character. Remember, we're all very unique.